It starts with a simple choice: turn off the phone. But for a group of Gen Zers and one brave millennial, that simple choice ignited a 24-hour battle against their brains. No smartphones, no internet. This wasn't just a break, it was an experiment in digital survival. The goal: to see if they could unplug for a full day to see what happens when the constant stream of information, validation, and distraction suddenly stops. Here's what happened when they tried. Welcome to Digital Detox. Can Gen Z unplug for 24 hours? If your phone is practically glued to your hand, hit like. If you've ever secretly wondered if you could survive without it, definitely subscribe. We're about to find out. The dawn of disconnection, morning jitters, and phantom vibrations. The experiment begins not with a bang, but with a profound and unsettling silence. For our participants, Gen Zers, Sarah and Liam, and our millennial David, the morning ritual is synonymous with the smartphone. It's the alarm clock, the news source, the social connector, and the first point of contact with the world. The reflexive reach for the device upon waking is the first link in a chain of habits that structures the day. When this ritual is broken, the response is immediate. Hour 1. Sarah instinctively reaches for her phone to turn off an alarm. That isn't there. She just stares at the ceiling. David, with his coffee, tries to scroll Twitter only to find his hand grasping at air. This isn't just psychological, it's a physiological event. It's the first stage of dopamine withdrawal. The brain, conditioned to expect its morning reward of novelty and social input, is suddenly denied its fix. This abrupt disruption to the reward pathway triggers a stress response, underscoring the degree to which the device has become integrated into the body's regulatory systems. This unconscious pull is the work of what author Charles Duhigg calls the habit loop, a 3-part neurological process of cue, routine, and reward. For smartphone use, the cue is often an internal feeling like boredom. The routine is the physical act of picking up the phone. The reward is temporary relief. Over time, this loop becomes so automatic that the brain stops fully participating in decision-making. Research has found that up to 45% of our daily actions are not conscious decisions, but ingrained habits. This explains the deeply relatable experience of unconscious phone grabbing, where you find your phone in hand with a social feed open with no memory of having decided to do so. Within the first few hours, a peculiar phenomenon emerges: phantom vibration syndrome. Participants report feeling the distinct tactile sensation of their phone vibrating in their pocket, only to discover that nothing is there. This is a genuine tactile hallucination. The cerebral cortex, which interprets sensory input, becomes so conditioned by the repeated pairing of a location, a pocket with a vibratory cue, and a reward, a notification, that it begins to misinterpret other ambiguous signals, a muscle twitch, the rustle of fabric, as the phone itself. This syndrome is tangible physical evidence that the habit loop has been encoded so deeply that it has rewired the user's neuroperceptual system. Midday Marathon: Navigating the Analog World. As our participants step out into the world, the practical difficulties of a screen-free existence become starkly apparent. The digital layer that mediates so much of modern life has been peeled away, leaving them to navigate a world that feels both familiar and strangely foreign. Hour 6. Liam, a Gen Z participant, finds himself hopelessly lost, trying to locate a coffee shop, a simple task rendered Herculean without Google Maps. He is forced to resort to the archaic practice of asking a stranger for directions. At lunch, the group experiences the heavy silence of waiting for food without the social shield of a phone to scroll through a behavior that has become a default in public spaces. This highlights a significant sociological shift: the erosion of public solitude. Smartphones have fundamentally altered the nature of public space, blurring the lines between private and public life. They allow us to retreat into a private digital bubble while physically present in a shared space. This experience highlights a generational contrast. For Gen Z participants like Sarah and Liam, who are true digital natives, the experience is one of genuine capability loss. They are navigating a foreign analog landscape for the first time. For the millennial David, who grew up alongside the internet's development, the experience is one of rediscovery and atrophy. He has vague memories of using paper maps, but he is shocked by how dependent he has become on digital tools. But there's a hidden cognitive cost that goes beyond navigation. Research into what is known as the face-down phone theory, reveals that the mere presence of a smartphone, even when it is turned off, significantly reduces available cognitive capacity. The brain, it turns out, must expend a constant low-level stream of energy, actively not picking up the phone, a process that exerts a gravitational pull on our attention. This is a real-world manifestation of the switch cost effect, described by author Johann Hari. Every time we shift our attention, our brain pays a cognitive penalty, leading to mental exhaustion and a diminished capacity for deep thought. The initial feelings of anxiety and mental restlessness are not just symptoms of withdrawal. They are also the brain's reaction to a sudden cognitive surplus. When the phone is physically removed, that processing power is abruptly liberated. The brain, a creature of habit, doesn't immediately know how to reinvest this newfound mental bandwidth, and this free-floating cognitive energy can manifest as agitation and anxiety. Their digital detox is hitting hard, but what about you? How long do you think you could last without your phone? And what's the first thing you'd miss? Drop your digital detox predictions in the comments. We dare you to imagine it. Afternoon awkwardness and the wall confronting boredom. The afternoon brings the most difficult psychological test of the experiment. The novelty of the challenge has worn off the initial anxiety, has morphed into a dull ache, and the itch to connect becomes almost unbearable. This is the period when the fear of missing out, FOMO, reaches its zenith. Defined as a pervasive apprehension that one might miss out on rewarding experiences that others are having, FOMO is a key driver of problematic social media attachment. It is rooted in the fundamental human need to belong. Social media exacerbates this fear by providing a continuous curated feed of the edited lives of others, which can trigger negative social comparisons and feelings of inadequacy. This fear manifests as a compulsive need to check devices, leading to anxiety, emotional tension, and interrupted sleep. Hour 14. David the Millennial catches himself reflexively trying to refresh a phantom LinkedIn feed for the third time. The physical habit is stronger than his conscious will. "It's like a phantom limb," he mutters. The Gen Z participants feel a sense of cultural disconnection, as if the world of humor and relevance is moving on without them. So much of their social language is built around current reels and TikToks, and they feel lost without that shared context. This intense craving for stimulation is a neurological reality. The brain is hardwired to seek novelty, and digital feeds provide an endless, perfectly optimized stream of it. When deprived of this easy source, the brain enters a state of low stimulation that feels deeply uncomfortable. This is the true face of boredom, a state our hyper-connected world has taught us to fear and avoid at all costs. But it is at this moment of peak discomfort that the true value of the detox begins to reveal itself. Boredom is not a negative state to be endured, but a profoundly productive and essential human experience. When we are bored and allow our minds to wander, a specific neural network becomes active, the default mode network, DMN. The DMN is the brain's creative engine. It's where we self-reflect, consolidate memories, and make surprising connections between disparate ideas. It is the neurological home of our most original and insightful thoughts. By constantly filling every spare moment with digital distraction, we are systematically starving our brains of the opportunity to enter this vital creative state. The greatest gift of the digital detox is that it forces participants to sit through this discomfort. By enduring the Great Wall of Boredom, they break through to the other side, emerging into a mental landscape rich with newfound clarity, self-awareness, and the quiet hum of their own imagination. Evening Unwind, rediscovering the offline and deep connection. As the sun sets on the day of disconnection, the emotional arc of the experiment reaches its climax. The struggle against withdrawal and boredom gives way to a quiet sense of acceptance, and for many, profound peace. This is where the tangible positive benefits emerge, revealing a world of active engagement, deep connection, and restorative rest. The evening hours present a final practical challenge: how to entertain oneself without the instant gratification of a screen. This absence of passive, algorithmically driven entertainment forces a crucial shift toward active, intentional leisure. Hour 20. Sarah, who had been struggling with the silence, rediscovers a novel she had started months ago, losing herself in its pages for hours. Liam, feeling restless, pulls a dusty board game from a closet, sparking an evening of spontaneous laughter and connection with his family. David, noticing his kitchen knife is blunt, spends an hour learning the simple, satisfying skill of sharpening it with a whetstone, a tangible act of creation in the physical world. These moments are perfect illustrations of Cal Newport's advocacy for high-quality leisure demanding activities that use skills to produce value rather than the low-quality passive consumption that characterizes so much of screen time. Perhaps the most significant rediscovery of the evening is the art of conversation. In our hyper-connected world, true conversation is often fragmented by the constant intrusion of notifications and the divided attention that the mere presence of a phone creates. Cal Newport draws a critical distinction between low-bandwidth connection, the likes, shares, and brief text messages that populate our digital lives, and high-bandwidth conversation, the rich, nuanced, face-to-face interactions that are essential for building strong relationships. During the detox with phones physically absent, conversation reclaims its central role. Participants report that their discussions feel deeper and more present. The final revelation of the 24 hours comes during the night. Universally, participants who complete a digital detox report a dramatic improvement in sleep quality. They fall asleep faster, sleep more deeply, and wake feeling more rested. This is a direct result of escaping the dual assault that screens wage on our sleep. The first assault is physiological. The blue light emitted from electronic screens is particularly effective at suppressing the brain's production of melatonin, the key hormone that regulates our sleep-wake cycle. Looking at a bright screen in the hours before bed essentially tells our brain it's still daytime. A recent 2025 study found that just 1 hour of screen time at bedtime increases the risk of insomnia by 59%. The second assault is psychological. Engaging with stimulating content keeps the brain in a state of high alert, making it difficult for the mind to power down and relax. By removing both the blue light and the cognitive stimulation, the detox allows the body's natural circadian rhythms to reassert themselves, leading to a night of truly restorative rest. The 24-hour mark, reflections and re-entry. The end of the 24 hours is not the end of the journey. The re-entry into the digital world is a critical and revealing phase of the experiment. The moment the phones are turned back on is an overwhelming sensory experience. Participants are hit by a tidal wave of notifications, a cascade of missed calls, text messages, emails, and app alerts. This floodgate moment is often an emotional roller coaster, mixing relief with a sudden intense feeling of stress and cognitive overload. The reflections of the participants post-detox reveal their changed perspectives. The Gen Z participants, Sarah and Liam, express a sense of profound mental rest. "My mind is less cluttered," Liam says. "It's easier for me to think the way I want to think now." But they also feel the powerful social gravity of their digital worlds. For them, complete abandonment is not a realistic goal. Their focus shifts to mindful moderation, curating their feeds, setting app time limits, and distinguishing between necessary connection and mindless scrolling. The millennial participant, David, has a different takeaway. He found the detox more brutal from a professional standpoint, feeling acutely disconnected from work obligations. However, he is also more shocked by the sheer quantity of wasted time the experiment revealed. His reflections are more pragmatic, focused on reclaiming time and setting boundaries. He resolves to implement practical changes like establishing no phone zones at the dinner table and keeping his phone out of the bedroom. To avoid the post-detox binge and build a sustainable new relationship with technology, a structured approach is necessary. Cal Newport's philosophy of digital minimalism provides a powerful framework. The core idea is not to simply resume old habits, but to start from a blank slate, reintroducing technology with rigorous intentionality. Newport proposes asking 3 critical questions for every optional technology before allowing it back into one's life. Does this tool directly support something I deeply value? Is this tool the best way to support that value? And how will I constrain my use of this tool to maximize its value and minimize its harms? This is the first step in joining what author Johann Hari calls the attention resistance, the conscious, continuous effort to protect one's focus and agency from the forces of an attention economy that is designed to steal it. Conclusion and recap. So, what have we learned from these 24 hours without the digital world? We saw the initial withdrawal driven by neurological habit loops and a starved dopamine system. We witnessed the confrontation with true boredom amplified by a powerful fear of missing out. And most importantly, we saw the profound peace and clarity that emerged when the digital noise finally faded, deeper conversations, restorative sleep, and the rediscovery of active offline joys. The 24-hour digital detox isn't about rejecting technology, it's about reclaiming ourselves. It's about reminding our brains that true connection, true rest, and true presence don't require a screen. As the trend of the great logging off gains momentum in 2025, more people are recognizing that digital wellness is the new frontier of self-care. The goal is not to abandon our tools, but to master our relationship with them, ensuring they serve us, not the other way around. So, can you unplug for 24 hours? Perhaps start with just 1 hour, or leave your phone in another room tonight. Leap. You might just discover a quieter, more present version of yourself waiting on the other side. If this episode inspired you to try a digital detox, tell us your plans in the comments, share this video, and challenge your friends using #DigitalDetoxChallenge. And don't forget to like and subscribe to GenShift. We'll be here waiting for you after your detox, of course.